a path to resolving the Middle East conflict. Welcome, listener. Today, we're embarking on a journey to explore one of the most enduring conflicts of our time, the Israeli-Palestinian struggle. This is a story deeply rooted in history, yet profoundly relevant to our present day. Together, we'll unravel the complexities of this conflict, from its origins in the early 20th century to the potential solutions that lie in the shifting sands of modern geopolitics. But this isn't just a history lesson. It's a call to understand the past, confront the present, and imagine a future where justice and peace are within reach. So, sit back and let's delve into this story. A story that's as much about human empathy as it is about power and politics. Chapter 1. The Collapse of Empires and the Seeds of Conflict. It all began over a century ago, in the aftermath of World War I, when the Ottoman Empire, which had ruled much of the Middle East for centuries, finally collapsed. The Ottomans had managed to govern a diverse region, one that was home to many different ethnicities and faiths, with a certain degree of stability. But their defeat brought an end to this balance, opening the door to Western powers eager to reshape the Middle East according to their own interests. The British and the French, through the League of Nations, carved up the Middle East into new territories and mandates, redrawing borders with little regard for the aspirations of the people who lived there. It was a time when imperial ambitions overpowered the voices of the locals, setting the stage for a century of unrest and turmoil. Chapter 2. The Balfour Declaration, a pivotal moment. Amid this upheaval came the Balfour Declaration in 1917, a letter from the British government expressing support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. At first glance, this might have seemed like a step toward providing refuge for the Jewish community, who had faced centuries of persecution in Europe. But beneath the surface, it sowed the seeds of discord between the Jewish and Arab populations in Palestine. Jewish immigration to the region increased rapidly, and tensions escalated as the local Arab population felt increasingly marginalized. By the time Israel was established as a state in 1948, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians had been displaced, a tragic event that is still remembered today as the Nakba, or catastrophe. This was a turning point, one that marked the beginning of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict as we know it, but it was also a moment when the world began to lose its empathy as global powers prioritized their strategic interests over the human cost of their decisions. Chapter 3. The Rise of Greed and the Loss of Empathy. As Western powers redrew the map of the Middle East, a new world order took shape, one defined by the pursuit of power and wealth. It was an era where economic and geopolitical ambitions took precedence over the well-being of people, where the division between rich and poor, and between different races and faiths, became more pronounced. The region was plunged into cycles of violence, and the voices calling for justice were often drowned out by those wielding power. This lack of empathy, this failure to see the humanity in all people, has fueled the conflict for decades, making it nearly impossible to reach a lasting peace. But now, as the world changes once again, a new possibility is emerging. It's time to shift our focus from the mistakes of the past to the potential of the future. Chapter 4. A New Dawn. The Role of BRICS and Emerging Alternatives. In recent years, a new alliance has emerged on the global stage. BRICS, an alliance of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has set out to create a new economic path. They've developed a trading system that allows countries to trade without relying on the US dollar or traditional Western financial networks. With 159 nations now expressing interest in this system, it represents a significant shift in global economic power. For countries that support a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine, the BRICS system offers a chance to assert their stance without the fear of economic retaliation from the West. Imagine this: a coalition of nations empowered to coordinate economic actions like boycotts, divestments, and sanctions, actions that could pressure Israel toward a fair resolution. It's an opportunity to use economic leverage not as a tool of coercion, but as a means of advocating for justice. Chapter 5. Economic Leverage and the Path to Justice. This new economic path isn't just about challenging the old order, it's about creating a space where justice for Palestinians is no longer a distant dream, but a tangible goal. By working together, BRICS and its allies can provide economic support to Palestinian territories, helping them build a stronger, more self-sufficient economy. Economic independence is key to any lasting peace. With a stable economy, the Palestinian people can envision a future where their needs are met, where their children can thrive, and where they can live side by side with Israel in peace. This is the foundation of a viable two-state solution, a solution that respects the dignity and rights of both peoples. But it's not just about economic empowerment, it's about shifting the balance of power in international diplomacy, allowing voices that have been marginalized for so long to finally be heard. Chapter 6. Challenges and Unity: A New World Order. Of course, this won't be easy. The BRICS alliance and its supporters face challenges from within and from outside. Coordinating a collective economic stance is difficult, and there's always the risk of pushback from powerful Western nations. But history has shown that real change requires determination and the will to pursue justice even when the path is difficult. If BRICS and its allies can navigate these challenges, they could reshape the global order, creating a world where economic power is more evenly distributed. A world where the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is no longer dominated by the interests of a few, but where true peace becomes a shared goal. Chapter 7. Reclaiming Empathy in a Changing World. At its heart, this story isn't just about politics or economics, it's about empathy, about seeing the humanity in every person, regardless of their background. It's about understanding that the struggles of the Palestinian people, the fears of Israeli families, and the hopes of every child in the region are deeply intertwined. The new global order that BRICS represents gives us a chance to reclaim this empathy, to remember that the world is made better when we put human dignity above profit and peace above power. As we move towards a more multipolar world, we have the chance to correct the mistakes of the past, to build a future where a fair and lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians is not just a distant hope, but a shared reality. Thank you, listener, for joining me on this journey. As we reflect on these ideas, let's remember that change is possible. History has shown us the power of human determination, and perhaps, just perhaps, this time, we can write a new chapter. A chapter where justice, empathy, and peace guide our actions, and where the promise of a better world becomes real.